Ahoy, me gents. It's me, Back Dragon. I'm back. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you guys. But I'm back with another tutorial on how to beat the hidden depth boss. I did promise you guys a thought, so sorry about a little delay on that. But either way, let's first get to the basic explanatory. What this map is. This is basically the boss map. Abyssal Monument. It's basically the boss map for the hidden depths. But you guys are here to see how to get to the boss and how to beat it. So, let's get started. Alright, boys. We're in the Abyssal Monument dungeon. It is similar to a Guardian Monument. Like, if you find a Guardian Temple in the ocean, it has a very similar textures and vibes to it. So, it is all still underwater, so be careful for your oxygen bar. And also, be careful for these currents. There will be now these rare occurring currents around the map. So, let's get started with the positioning. Now, to get there, it's not exactly going to be tricky, though. It's pretty simple territory. You'll get your basic mobs, like you'll get your skeletons, your drowned, and your crypto slimes. You know, just some of the basic spawn areas. So you don't have to worry about coming here with some overpowered gear, but be sure to have your harpoon arrows ready. Okay, so here's kind of the first puzzle part you will encounter. Well, not really a puzzle, it's more like a secret current where you can go through. Not really secret, it's basically how you go. And this will lead you automatically to the area. There is a way back, there's a secret chest in between here sometimes, but well, you don't have to worry about that. Also, there's spawns guardians here. Since it is a guardian temple, there will be guardian spawns. Well, I think we should be coming up to our first, like, area where we start. Okay, yeah. Alright, so this is kind of the first area. This is, like, the first general area where you're gonna be encountering. It's not too bad, though. It's just a bunch of jumps you have to make. Just do your space jump. Don't walk. See, you can't walk over. You have to do the space dash. Do be careful, the mobs do have the ability to use the shells, so if you are a little weak against mobs and the mobs can still shoot you. You can find some good amount of emeralds down here too if you look carefully, but this part you just jump across. Nothing too serious. Alright, I think we should be coming up to the second area now. The little jump part. Little full fight area over here. Nothing too serious you have to worry about here. You just climb down all your way down. Don't worry, you'll take no full damage. This is underwater, obviously. You do not take full damage. So, this is where you kind of get your first glimpse on what type of boss you're going to be fighting. It is obviously the boss, Elder Guardian. Not the actual normal Elder Guardian. It does have to take a note. It's quite much bigger. But either way, you're going to encounter these little segments where you just survive, wave. Otherwise, you don't really have to worry too much about the initial fight. Just make sure you have your harpoon arrows ready. And here you encounter your first, like, Elder Guardian. Don't worry about his attacks. His attacks are relatively slow, like I explained in my other VOD, explaining you the basic tips and tricks when you're underwater adventure. What you should do, what you should not do, what you should avoid, how you can survive. Now, as you can see, I'm not wearing some of the gear types I normally would wear. I'm wearing some good old splinted rope. Normally, you could have worn, obviously, your mountaineering gears that gives you environmental resistance. But either way, you don't have to wear that. You could just wear normal gear. Works the same. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here's the next area. Yeah, I know we're moving a little bit fast through this, but this dungeon is not really long. It's pretty short. But there's, like, quite a lot of these, like, interesting puzzle areas. Okay, because we're encountering our very first puzzle area. Now, this is basically, you can't open this door by just simply clicking on it. You need a conduit open. So, I think the conduit's up here. So if we go up here, conduit should be right up this area. Actually, no, this is not a puzzle area. Okay, boys, give me a sec and I will... Alright, boys, it actually wasn't far. It was just right next to me. I just walked past it. Yeah, it's been a while since I played this map, but I can still show you how to do it. Now, obviously, like the first area, you click on this, open the thing, and you just have to fend off a couple of mobs that spawn. Sometimes it glitches out and the mobs don't spawn in, but either way, you just chill here, wait for the conduit to drop down. Once the conduit has successfully dropped down, obviously see the indication with the lights, and it will drop. Be sure to ditch your trident if you have a trident on you, or if you have a friend, ask your friend to instead of picking it up. Now, this is going to be your key. Now, on the first map, you could have encountered this a little bit. I'm pretty sure you could have encountered it a little bit, but you don't have to worry. There's going to be a line on the floor that's going to guide you to these, like, conduit areas. These will open doors to the next area. You don't have to worry about keeping the conduit in. You just can pick it up. You know, you're going to encounter a little bit of monsters. You can skip this part if you want to, but if you're interested in a bit of XP, obviously I don't need XP since I'm level 2,871. I will make soon a video on how to get better XP. I know I've seen some people struggling with XP. Or either way, you take this, fight your way through a bunch of mobs. The indicator would be good. Now, okay, this area, you gotta be careful. These are pufferfish. They are quite dangerous in the beginning stages, but later on they're not much of a big deal. But in the beginning stages, they can get quite a... You can't just kill them off straight, but they do leave a poison trail. So be careful. Be careful of that. You don't exactly have to kill the pufferfish. The pufferfish actually do help you fight against the monsters. So if you look around, pufferfish are actually doing damage to the mobs. Looks like we got lucky. We got an poison thing drop. Again, you just kill them up straight. You don't really have to keep them around. If they're annoying to you, just kill them up straight. Now, once you defeat that, you get a little chest, a little golden chest. Sometimes you get lucky, you get a little drop. You can see we got some of the ocean drops. Obviously, we don't have to worry about picking up any oxygen items or anything, as we got the conduit. So if you're doing it as solo, you don't really have to worry about oxygen. You just keep the conduit on you. I know it's tedious, but either way. Otherwise, just follow this line again to the other opening. Now, you could just follow the line, or you can follow the quest icon. Doesn't really matter. You can follow either way. Well, this will just take you straight to the next area. So, unless you have your quest icon not really showing, where you can just follow the line. Either way, you can take this and lead you straight to the next area. Now, these puzzles can vary from different puzzles. They can vary from just a random blue key puzzle, or they could be this puzzle that we just encountered, which is a lever puzzle. You just need to follow along, push these buttons, and these gates will open, and these gates will lead you to the next areas. Just follow them along. Just follow along with the puzzles. Be sure to have your buddy keep the conduit on him if you're doing this co-op. So this can help you along, speed you along a little bit of the process. Or just keep you alive in general. Because trust me, it's sometimes people tend to drown. So just keep your conduit with you. Otherwise, then take this pathway through, and this will take you to this button. Press this button. Open up. Now, you can invert run this if you're strong enough, but I wouldn't recommend it. It just takes a lot of time. So just go ahead, open this. Oh yeah, do keep a note that this does give you a little bit of a speed boost. A tiny bit of speed boost, not a major speed boost. This is a little bit of speed boost. And this is the door you just opened. Again, you could squeeze your way through, but otherwise, you don't have to worry. Alright, I'm gonna skip a little ahead, because I don't think you guys want to sit or watch me do this. Alright, after you're done sorting through your puzzles, you'll find this giant copper door. It's smaller made out of granite and copper, but you can find it, and this will basically lead you to the next area. Now, this next area, you gotta be slightly a bit more careful. There is these, waves. But if you wear any environmental protection gear, it should protect you from the current waves, but still be careful regardless. It can still knock you off, and you can take a lot of damage. Lots of damage. So be careful when you go through this area. And then this next part will just lead you to a little bit of a mini fight. Now, I believe this map also spawns with a classical obsidian chest. Also, you can just avoid that laser. Just be careful, that laser does do a lot of damage. Otherwise, you just stand here, fight your way through the mobs. The floor underneath you is gonna break. You fall through. Don't worry, you don't take any fall damage since you're underwater. You don't take any fall damage. Unless you fall off the edge, but otherwise you don't. And all like you do, you just survive this through normally. Ground breaks underneath you. You fall. Don't worry, don't be too worried about fall damage again. Otherwise, you just fight your way through these tiny horde of mobs. No, I don't think so. Okay, there's a way you could go back up if you forgot to go pick up a chest or something. I believe there spawns a chest here once in a while, but otherwise you don't really have to worry. If you don't see the chest, you just skip along with your thing, see on with your journey. Now we should be coming up to the second little area like this. The currents are. You just travel the currents, don't have to worry. Now this current is not exactly strong like the rest, so you can grab the little free chest here. This is the chest I kind of was mentioning earlier. You can be on 3 emeralds. Obviously I don't need emeralds, I got over 4 billion emeralds. Do check out my other VOD. I'm pretty sure I put up like a information thing on top, but otherwise check out the other VOD. That should tell you where to go find your emeralds, go find your gear. Otherwise, we're coming up to the boss area. Now, this is going to be like another little wave fight. Don't worry, you have to be serious about this. If you're struggling to fight the mobs at melee, just drop the conduit and then fight them with, obviously, your crossbow. You can take them out with this. Make sure you have harpoon arrows. Sadly, the conduit doesn't help with the arrow drop. The arrow drop's going to happen regardless. So, keep your harpoon arrows on you. There we go. Obviously, this is a bit low level for me. This is I'm playing on lower level for you guys' tutorial's sake, but either way, you could do this on 25 plus easily. Now, just look around for mobs. Sometimes you notice the gates don't open, just check around. Sometimes the mobs tend to hang around on the corner. Now, the other way around is just take you to like another room, another chest room. There is plenty of chest rooms in this room, in this dungeon, so do keep around, explore a little bit. Don't be like me just rushing through, just do check. Sometimes you will come across like a little chest room or something. Now there's technically a way to skip this. Like I'm a little bit too fast for this, but either way, there's a little way you can skip the whole boss thing there, the whole way thing. But either way, if you can't skip it, what you gotta do, just fight the mobs that spawn. It does slow your runs down if you try to speed run this. But there's a way you could climb on these like lift pages here where my mouse is. You can just hop across. There's a way you can do that, but you don't want to, or if you can't, you don't really have to wait. Also, if you're busy with your thing here, you can also just do this. All right, see, there's a little indication of the boss. That is the boss you're gonna be fighting. But not now. This is just like him stalking you. You will find him along the map. You will see him stalking you, watching you, checking you out. Okay, let me see if I can actually... Okay, see, that's the method I was talking about. You can just climb on that rock, dash across, and you can just skip that whole ordeal. But if you don't want to, you want to fight him, it's up to you. You can fight them. Nothing wrong fighting him. Now, technically, if you're strong enough, you can just skip through all the monsters if you want to. I'm just gonna skip along. Okay, if you're confused about this area, just walk over here. The blocks will drop. I believe this will take you straight to the boss area. Like 100% just straight to the boss area. Just find your way through the Elder Guardians and stuff. Obviously, you're gonna be fighting. Obviously, I'm a bit overpowered. So remember to grab oxygen if you don't have a conduit. Hop across. Now, before we continue with this boss, make sure to bring the conduit. Trust me, the conduit is so useful during this fight. Now, just to be clear, I might be instant killing this boss because I'm a little overstrong with my gear I'm right now. But I'll try show off the mechanics as best as I can. Alright, so it's going to give you a little bit of a cutscene. Where you're going to see the boss is going to encounter you. He's going to be there. He's going to be all evil and menacing. Now, he has similar attacks like the Guardian. Like, he shoots a little laser at you. But you can just stand behind these pillars. My suggestion is just to leave the pillar. Also, be careful for these mines. These mines do hurt. Now, he has the tendency to shoot lasers a lot. So be careful. Now, he has a couple of phases to him. Like, this is one of his phases. Don't worry about it. Just go behind the wall. He tends to shoot the laser, and when he's done shooting his laser, he's gonna make his way down. Just kill his minions off. Keep behind. Just make sure you have a bow on you. Now, he does this a couple of times. He shoots his laser a couple of times. And he comes back down. Nothing too serious. But remember, when you're low geared, you're gonna obviously take a lot of damage. Just avoid the mines at all costs. Also, be careful. He can hit hard. He really hits hard when he comes up close to you. So, anyway, just be careful. Remember, this laser is gonna come right again. Stand behind the walls. These two walls are gonna be your best friend. That's why I said bring the conduit with you. So you can easily, you know, fight against the mobs with no issues. And the conduit provides you with air, so if you don't have to run all the way to this oxygen conduit all over here. Thanks. Now, you can't just kill him instantaneously like I did, but either way, he does go through another phase, not a block phase, but nothing too serious, right? But anyway, that's really it. I'm not even joking. That is literally it. That's the whole fight. If you were struggling with that fight, don't worry. I was struggling with the fight too. When we initially did this first, it was kind of confusing. But now you know. Here's my tips of advice. Avoid the mines. Stay behind the walls. Make sure the conduit's with you. If you don't have the conduit with you, stand behind the walls. Wait till his laser's done and run to the auction. Just be careful for his guardians. He does spawn guardians. On higher difficulties, he tends to spawn elder guardians too, but I didn't see elder guardians spawn. But you don't really have to worry about them much. But either way, once you've ended, get your end victory scene. And yeah, that's practically it. Simple fight. Okay, well, it's a little bit more simple for me because I'm overgeared, but I will explain you guys a little bit of gear and stuff you can pick up along. So once I catch you guys at the camp, I will start showing you guys other pieces of gear. Alright, so now we're here in my classical storage chest, where I'm in my storage chest, and I'm going to be showing you guys what type of pieces of gear I suggest you maybe take along for the boss fight. Now, a couple of interesting picks would be Harpoon Crossbow. Trust me, Harpoon Crossbow is pretty nice for dealing with the Guardians, especially when you have Harpoon arrows. It works splendidly nice against them, especially when they come in condensed crowds. They help a lot. So I would recommend picking up Accelerant or Bonus Shot, depending on what spawns here, but I would personally go for Accelerant so you can shoot a little bit faster. Next, I'll pick up Multi-Shot for the Harpoon Crossbow, since it does actually double your shots even more than initial 5. So you get like 10 shots off, basically. Or you can pick up Rapid Fire, depending on if you didn't get Accelerant. Then next, I would suggest picking up either Fuse Shot or Tempo Thief. Now, I know this was a bit custom since I did visit the Enchanter to, enchant. You know you can also do that. Any other bow you can pick up is a Feral Soul Crossbow. This bow is pretty nice. Don't get me wrong. It is a really nice crossbow. By the way, guys, I'll explain where you can find all these weapons in a little bit. I'll just explain for now all the gear what you need. Okay, back to the Feral Crossbow. This bow is pretty great. It's great for soul bolts, especially when you have Anamia Conduit on it. I'm probably butchering how I'm saying that, but either way, if you have this, it will help you a lot with the healing, especially when you're struggling, but you can kill stuff fast, but you're struggling with the health. This will come great. Also, Void Strike goes great against the boss, since it bonuses the damage up drastically. Also, pick up Soul Siphon. It does help a little bit by gathering the souls a little bit, so if you're struggling with gathering souls, it will help you nicely. Another good bow would be a Zoo Seeker. I know most people have a little opinions against it, but it's a great bow. It is a great bow, especially with Critical Strike, Poison Cloud, and Exploding. Exploding is very nice on a crossbow. It doesn't matter if it's on a bow or a crossbow, it works very nicely. It is super nice. Works excellent. Trust me, it's good. Now, enough of the bows. Let's move on to the weaponry. Now, my personal favorite is the Encrusted Anchor. Very nice weapon, but very slow. But it works great against when you're fighting against mobs. It absorbs your knockback, so if the Guardians knock you around, it will help with that. Again, a warning, it's slow, so maybe pick up some like intros to make it a little faster. Obviously, this is not the optimal best anchor, but I picked up this one with double raging, rampaging, and poison cloud. It does inflict poison just normally, and it has gravity on it. So if you're having problems with the mobs spreading out a lot, this could help you a lot with it. Now, the next weapon you can pick up is a curse axe. It's an obvious choice. It truly, honestly, is an obvious choice. Pick up radiance, critical hit, gravity, or you could, pick up leeching instead. Leeching is, in some people's opinions, better. But hey, everyone's to their own. But either way, pick up this with radiance, critical hit, and gravity. Why gravity? Because of swirling. This thing has swirling on it. It is so... Okay, well, it doesn't really have swirling. It does have the spin attack. But if you have managed to get a gilded one with swirling on it, it is gorgeous. Since it has explosive mobs, so if you attack the Guardians will explode and then they will, explode their friends near them. It is a great weapon in general. Now, let's see. There's a bunch of other weapons you can pick up. You can also pick up the Dark Katana for the drowned mobs below. You can always swap when you get to the boss, but either way, this is a great weapon to get to the boss. So if you're struggling fighting against the undead, underwater undead, you can pick up this. It will help along. I suggest picking up Swirling, Void Strike, and Critical on it, or you can pick up Healing, Swirling, and Critical. Or you can pick up Dynamo, but Dynamo is a bit underrated. And let's see, let's move on to armor types. Armor types are kind of unique depending on your... Now, if you have a little special, armor types, you can also use the custom, unique special event armors, like the Hungriest Horror. It does give you, 25% attack speed, 35% damage reduction, and 20% boost damage. Horror, this is obviously just Renegade armor. So you can use Renegade armor, or you can use your special event armor, regardless. It does help you a lot with the damage and the boost aura. Or you can pick up Stalwart armor. Stalwart armor, don't get me wrong, Stalwart armor is pretty good, especially with the potion defense. Especially when you get the unique enchants obviously, Powerful Shout, which is Lost Stand. So if you have, you get a little bit of health back. You use all your artifacts at once. So if you have powerful artifacts on you, it will help a lot. Good idea would be pick it up with the Aerobat, so you can roll around faster. Also, I definitely suggest pick up the Stalwart armor for this fight, because it does have a 30% to negate damage. So if you can't avoid the laser in time, this will help you a lot. Now, let's move into my own inventory. Here are the gear I've been using for the fight. Now, I used the Splendid Robe that I introduced in the last video, with the protection, soul focus, Paradise. For the people that didn't watch the last video, please do pick up this. This does help a lot. You don't have to precisely pick up the exact same one. As long as you have protection and Paradise on, or some kind of enchant that helps fight against the undead, like snowballs, freezing, or you can pick up soul focus if you're soul bolt. And then the weapon I used was the Resolve Tempest knife. Again, I explained this in the last video that this knife helps a lot moving around. Obviously, my knife is a little bit overpowered since I got it from the tower. It was just a lucky drop. But it does help you with that little speed boost. So if you wanted to speed through the level, this could help a lot. Remember to pick up Critical Hit, Radiance, or Shockwave. Or you can replace the Radiance with, I guess, either ways. Up to you how you replace those. Now for artifacts. I did say in the last video that a Harpoon Quiver is going to be your best friend when it comes to water. Especially if you're a ranged player. This comes very useful. So especially when you're ranged. Because it negates the drop arrow mechanic completely. You can shoot through mobs. Does crazy tons of extra damage. Do pick it up. Then you can pick up satchels and elements from the Mountain DLC. Or from the tiny mountain little mission you can find. But either way, this is the thing you need to pick up. And then another suggestion, if you're not feeling you're not doing enough damage, you can pick up the Gong of Weakening. It does increase the damage and their defensive capabilities. So the mob does hurt you less and you do more damage. So this is a great item to pick up along the way. Also, pick up a death cap mushroom. Does help a lot. If you're feeling a little hitting slow with the encrusted anger, this definitely does help. Also, if you and your teammates take a little damage, or you just take damage in general too much, a totem of regeneration goes great along with the boss fights, especially when you stand behind the pillars to heal up. This goes great along with it. Or if you accidentally forgot to pick up the conduit, Tome of Duplication, which you can find in the end DLC if you own the end DLC. You can pick up the Tome of Duplication. This basically duplicates any consumable item that you pick up. TNT, tridents, the fish, potions, anything you picked up, this will duplicate or have a 78% chance to duplicate it. So it's a great item to pick up regardless. If you are playing with a friend and you know this friend can know his dodges, it would be a good idea to pick up the Enchanter's Tome, which again you find in the NDL. Yeah, NDLs, pretty sure. I'll probably correct it. But either way, you find this. It is great. The Shadow Swifter is also another good item you can pick up, especially when you're playing as a stealth build. It becomes really great, especially when you have the souls to use it. It goes greatly well. It lasts 26 seconds. It goes great with if you have a bit of a stealth weaponry from the end dimension. See if I can find the weapon that I'm referring to. No, this one. Like I don't have one. Well, it's a dagger. It's basically a dagger. Also, another good weapon to pick up is the Spawn Striker. Trust me, this weapon is really good. Most people find it underrating, but it is pretty good. It deals rapid slashes. Let me actually show you. Show you the reason why I say that weapon is pretty good. Well, sorry. To show you to the dummy what this weapon actually does. Now, obviously, I'll probably do like a ton of damage if I'm over-equipped. But this weapon is pretty good in general. As you can see, it does multiple slashes pretty quick. So if you're running around and dodging, you can easily throw a couple of swings in. Combine this with the mushroom. It is super good with the mushroom. You can see so much damage you can pull off. Crazy. This goes especially great with critical hit. You can basically do a lot of damage. And with Radiance, especially with Radiance, so you can heal pretty quickly. Now let's explain a little bit what the weapon actually does. Deals absorb damage during combo. So you actually still absorbs damage. A little unclear how that works, but I can understand it absorbs damage, I believe. And it soaks up the energy of combat. It basically expels it in a giant burst. But a great choice to pick up is Committed. Committed is great, again, to pick up. It works great, especially against the boss. So the more damage you do to the boss, the more damage you're going to do to the boss. Radiance for the heals. This is a pretty fast weapon. You can pretty heal quickly. This weapon you find within the boss level or in the first level. But either way, pretty good weapon. Again, like I said, pick up critical hit. Since this weapon has a pretty high critical hit. I know the power seems very low on this weapon, but it does make up for the area effect and speed. Pretty good, though. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, boys. You have successfully now defeated your boss. Now, guys, I will be making another video to the other areas too. So this is basically I'll make the next area moving on to is going to be the jungle DLC. That I will make in the next video for you boys and show you guys how to defeat the Overgrowth Guardian Temple and how to basically survive in the Dingling Jungle. But otherwise, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this guide was sort of helpful for you guys, for your newer players that play this game. But otherwise, guys, have an awesome day. Peace out. Have a nice day.